Happy Sunday and welcome back. We have been discussing about what stops us from being communicative. I said communication is a very intelligent effort that we take if we need to achieve results. It's very importantly something that we'll have to keep in mind. So we've been discussing about attitude, we've been discussing about growing over your shyness, and we've been discussing about taking the efforts and trying to put ourselves into the situation, develop the content as such. So three very important things: attitude to communicate and develop the right content, put yourself into situations, you should be able to bring that into your forefront, working memory, and speak up. So you need to be a learner in the sense you'll have to put yourself into different situations, learn from everything that you try and assimilate, try and process it into meaningful sentences. Use your linguistic memory to process it and store it properly. It's not rote learning, you just have to memorize. No, you can't be memorizing. That is one very important skill that you need to develop. When it comes to knowing your audience, which is the fourth most important aspect of communication, you can't be just memorizing the content and speaking. It is you then. It is not about you. Speaking is not about you. It's about the other person who's listening. You'll have to engage them. If you're going to be memorizing and speaking, it is going to be like a robo. You're going to be sounding like a robo. There is no difference between a robo and a person. Robo just does and speaks what is programmed. So likewise, you have also programmed yourself to speak. You can prepare, you can plan your conversation, you can plan your communication, you can plan your message. But it doesn't mean that you'll have to be memorizing it and speaking it from your memory. I'm not memorizing and speaking it out of my memory. I'm just trying to recollect what is there, what I've learned all through these years, and I'm trying to speak on. So knowing your audience is very important. It's about them and not about you. Communication is about them and not about you. So it is very crucial that you learn to know the audience to whom you're speaking to. Audience factors differ. When you're talking to an interviewer, it's an interview context. You'll have to adopt a different kind of communication, different style. And when you're talking to your family, it is different. When you're talking to your teachers, it's different. When you're talking to your co-workers, it's different. But it's always better to have the right syntax, right content. So content and syntax plays a very, very important role. Content we have discussed. Syntax, how you construct your message. Most often people come and say that they not learned the grammar, they can't speak correctly. It's not the fact. It's not true actually. We know how to speak, at least by committing minimum mistakes we can communicate. That is understandable to some extent. Unless and until the syntax, the grammar is too very vague and too very unintelligible. That happens with people who don't use their mind, who are not mindful of using the language. So we are mindful of using language because we have come this far. So if we have come this far, at least in many instances we have used mindful use of language. So we have used mindfulness in using the right syntax and things like that. But the only thing is, it's a thought that we have not learned the grammar for. We are not going to speak in a very flowery fashion like I said before. We are going to speak just to convey the message that we have in our mind. So frame the right type of sentences, better, simple, better. And take care of tenses. Most often we commit mistake when it comes to tenses. We don't frame it in the right tense. Past tense, present tense, future tense. 3 simple tenses, that's it. You don't have to be using complex language. You don't have to use lengthy sentences. You can trim the sentences. Just one. You can have a sentence maybe around 6 to 7 words. If you're communicating directly, if it's your very, very instrumental communication where you make a point, you don't have to have lengthy sentences. I'm just saying this. You don't have to have lengthy sentences. Kalas, finish. 8 words, 8 to 9 words. That's it. And you can very easily convey it. So keep your communication content very precise and clear and communicate in a very meaningful manner. That you learn through practice. So we have seen about audience, knowing your audience, framing your content properly in simple, intelligible language, and very importantly, growing over the fear of not knowing the language. You know the language, at least to communicate in simple sentences. So that is something that you can keep in mind and try and move on to the next level. So these are the three things that I wanted to tell you. Hope it has done some good to you. Keep tuned. We'll stay tuned in this, and I'll talk about few more things in future. Thank you very much for watching.